All right, we are going to get started with the last section of our program here. We've got a couple more speakers lined up. You're going to hear from Mario Moore and GT Laborde, and then, as you might have guessed, we're going to have a panel discussion here at the end. So, we're going to jump right into it. Mario is the founder and CEO of GradesFirst. They are a provider of student support software to over 200 colleges and universities across the country. Mario has led the company from a bootstrapped startup to a fast-growing market leader. Mario is one of the entrepreneurs that I've enjoyed most getting to know over the last couple months. And I think the last time we hung out, we were shooting machine guns. But that's a different story for a different day. So please help me in welcoming Mr. Mario Moore.
Something I've always wanted to do, so y'all bear with me for a second, okay? This ain't a song for the broken hearted. Alright, you turn it off. Alright, so if you know anything about me, I am a huge Bon Jovi fan. Yes, I am a card-carrying member of the John Bon Jovi fan club, and that's what I like to do. But anyway, my name is Mario Moore, and I appreciate this opportunity to speak to you today. I'm just going to tell you my story. I'm going to take about 15 minutes to do that, and then after that, I hope you'll ask me a question. You can ask me any question. If it's something I won't answer, I'll tell you. But you might be surprised about what I will answer. But what I hope this does is I hope that you can identify with some of what I'm about to share with you. Or maybe some of, I just got 2 extra minutes, some of this story. So here we go. What is GradesFirst? My clicker ain't working. There it goes. Okay, so GradesFirst, we help colleges and universities with student support. Think academic advising, tutoring, supplemental instruction, this concept called early alert. The great thing for us is we are replacing these types of systems. Pen and paper. You remember being in college? Come sign up on the door for an appointment with your advisor, right? Same thing with tutoring. These are the tutoring systems that are out there, right? You want a tutor, sign, that's a great thing. Student retention, okay? Full-time, first-time freshmen that come to college, how many of them are coming back next fall? The average 4-year retention rate for public universities across the country, 4 years, about 70%. The average for 2-year schools is a little less than 50%. And we won't even talk about graduation rates, right? It used to be who could go to college. Now it's what in the world are you doing with all this money to educate these students? Turns out support at college campuses around the country, it just basically didn't exist. And so this, in 2012, is what a lot of colleges are still using. We got our start in Division I athletics. We currently serve 130 some odd Division I athletic programs. Okay, that's fun. And now athletics is our beachhead. We're moving onto the campus, and it's a beautiful thing. So that's what GradesFirst is. On with the story. I come from a little town. Who knows where Loretto, Tennessee is? Don't you lie. All right? Just north of Florence, Alabama, across the state line. Population about 1,500. We got 1 red light. I grew up on a farm. We raised hogs and game chickens. If you know what game chickens are, not proud of it, that's what we did. All right? So I moved to Birmingham after I got out of college. I can remember, we came from poor, gosh. I can remember the first time I saw a computer when it was brought into my elementary school in very small Loretto, Tennessee. It's an Apple IIe. Okay? I took to it like nobody's business. I can remember, think about this one for a second, the first time I got my first pair of Levi's. Let that one sink in. But, so, I started working on these computers. During lunch, I would skip lunch and I would be on that computer. After school, I would be on that computer. Okay? Fast forward to Birmingham. I graduated in 1993, went to work at AmSouth Bank, met the most awesome guy in the world. His name's Anthony Kremley, still works with me today. He taught me how to program correctly. taught me the importance of being disciplined about programming. And that served me very, very well over the years. Fast forward, we went into consulting, contract for hire, gunslinger. Boy, that was fun. We were making good money. Well, that got old too. Took a job at Daxco and a giant pay cut. Dave, you still owe me money. Where are you? Okay. But we took jobs at Daxco. Anthony got there before me. I came there later. Very early in the day. I got there at client number 35 for Daxco. Stayed there for 18 months, but here's what it did. It changed my life. Okay? Because, now I don't know how it is now, but back then, it was entrepreneurial to the extreme. 2 weeks after I got there, they divided the company up. Let's come up with new products and services for Daxco. Well, that changed me. Because I stopped reading technical, I started reading sales, marketing, how to build a business, and the book that changed my life was one called Reimagine by Tom Peters. First third of the book, awesome. Second third of the book, terrible. Last third of the book, I won't put you to sleep. But it changed my life. Okay? And that's when, after about 18 months at Daxco, I left there, went back to consulting, hoping to save a little money and looking for my own thing. That's when I found this idea of monitoring the time that students spend in study hall. Okay? It wasn't my idea. It was a buddy of mine I was working on a project at Southern Company with. He said, "Boy, I know you look for something, you want to give it a shot." I said, "Yeah." So here we go, nights and weekends. This was my office. Nights and weekends. This is my back deck screened-in porch. Okay? After about 9 months, 10 months, something like that, I lost track of the timeline there. I quit my cushy little job at Southern Company and did this full-time. Bought my partner out. This is where I lived. Okay? During the warm months. Yep, I was the guy. Got up in the mornings, got my kids ready for school. Got them on the school bus at 6:35. Wife got up after that, went to work. I'm on the back porch in my t-shirt, boxer shorts, working all day, taking a shower right before my wife gets home. Because I didn't want to smell, right? Alright? And during the cold months, here's where we are. Now, this is Tanner's nursery now, but it used to be my dungeon. I felt like a prisoner because I was there the whole time. All day long, all night long. John Burnett is now with Ticket Biscuit. He can tell you stories. I'm not proud of this fact. Starting a company is not easy. Ask him about when I would come over, and his wife is an excellent cook. And I would fall asleep, literally, in their living room. And I would fall asleep at the dinner table. It's the craziest thing. Okay? It's not easy doing this. Okay? So, fast forward a little bit. At the end of 2006, we had 4 schools, 3 of which were paying. Troy University was our first client. At the end of 2007, oh my gosh, we had 7. And I was like, "James, how do I get out of this?" James Johnson, my lawyer. He said, "Mario, before you get out, you need to take one more look." Okay? Now, anybody know who Jesus is? Okay? So I did. After that conversation with James, the very next day, a lady from Troy, Alabama calls me and says, "Hey, can we use GradesFirst to monitor our students the same way that athletics is monitoring theirs?" And I started asking questions. And she was telling me about this thing called student retention. And she was telling me about how it's becoming this giant issue and why. And you know what? She was right. And I, by the grace of God, listened. Right after that, I was renewed a little bit. So in 2008, we were able to cobble together somewhere around 18 schools using GradesFirst. All athletic departments at this point, right? Except for one. Well, at this point, I was very tired. Wow, I was very tired. I needed some help. I started trying to raise money. Oh God, I don't ever want to go through that process again. And listen, if you've never started a company, okay, and you have no track record, and you don't have a bevy of PhDs, okay, and you happen to be from Loretta, Tennessee, and you talk like me, who knows nothing about finance or investment banking, hang it up. Don't waste your time talking to VCs. Don't waste your time. Even if you do have a PhD, if you have no product and you have no revenue in this town, don't waste your time. No offense to any VCs that are out there. Okay? You look for an angel. You look for somebody that will believe in your story and believe in what you're doing. A lot of people ask me, well, are you passionate about education? And what got you into this? I don't know, say I'm passionate about education. You know what I'm passionate about? I'm passionate about winning. I'm passionate about solving a problem and winning. And winning. That's what I'm passionate about. Okay? But we win the right way. Now, a soul in this room can tell you that I have done them wrong. Okay? And it's very important that you do that. Okay? Just as a personal note. Okay, so 2009 came along. Now, we've heard from a man named Larry Lilly. I love you, Larry Lilly. I do. He is one of my favorite people. Not because he helped us when we needed help. What he did is he gave us 2 offices, 2 nice offices, by the way, on the bottom floor there that they weren't using, and a cubicle. Okay? For basically nothing. That included internet, that included phone, that included even the bathrooms. Okay? If you've been to their building, it's pretty nice. Alright? But what it did is it allowed us a little bit of breathing space to really get rolling. Also in 2009, I found my angel. Okay? Now, are you ready for this story? I had given up raising money. And I said, literally, hey Birmingham, I will show you I can do it myself. And I'm not being cocky, okay? I was so frustrated with the whole process. Because I had met with all these people. I knew the people. I got introduced to everybody. I did. Okay? So, I was done with that. Well, my wife is a dental hygienist. And if you know what that is, she cleans teeth. And she happened to work at a very affluent dentist office. So every man and woman that come in there always ask the question, what does your husband do for a living? Well, a man came in there one day, asked that question, and I was very upset and frustrated. And she says, well, you asked me at the wrong day. He's upset. He's frustrated. Well, what's the problem? I can just hear him. Well, what's wrong? Well, he's trying to raise money, got this company, got this product, it's going, whatever. Well, remember that man Jesus? Okay? Not long after that, this man came back into the office, handed Angela an envelope with a handwritten letter in there, but on the front of the envelope had my name. And basically the letter said, I don't know if this will help you, blah, 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 but I thought I'd pass along my son's resume, he might be able to help you. I'm like, your son's resume? I can't hire myself, much less somebody else. I just threw it down on the table. I did. 2 weeks later, I'm cleaning off my desk. I find this letter. I'm like, oh my gosh, because his son is very successful in software and exited a company and been out in the valley and done a lot of things, right? So I call him up. To make a very long story short, I never went to this person asking for money. Okay, I had quit. And one day I asked him to lunch. We're at Jim and Nick's on 280. And we're just talking about the company. This is Grant's dad, okay? The person that brought the envelope into the dentist's office. He said, I'll never forget. Son, this is what he said. Son, I know you didn't come here looking for money, and I didn't come here to give it. But I think you just need to feed it. If you want to put something together and we talk about it, that'll be all right. I walked out of there amazed. Amazed. Okay? If you ever hear somebody in this town say, well, don't worry about it, all the deals that need to get funded, they'll get funded, please punch them in the mouth. Okay? That is the most down-your-nose statement that you can make to somebody like me. Okay? And I hope you're like that too. All right, so we got some funding this year, and we were able to hire some salespeople, a support person, bring our 3 developers on full-time. Yes, that's right. I hired 3 developers, brought them on full-time, 1 salesperson, and 1 client service person within the first year. Now that's right backwards to what most people will tell you, right? You need salespeople. All right? But that's another story. All right, so at the end of 2009, we went from 18 schools to 46 schools. At the end of 2010, we went from 46 to about 96, I think it was. And so this is our office space now. Dave Gray, we got a little logo up here too, buddy. How about that? How about that? And so anyway, now we're up to about 215 schools. By the end of the year, we should be pretty close to 280 to 300 schools. Okay? And they're not these little bitty athletic accounts anymore. They're these campus accounts that are going, hey, we need that. Because something as simple as an advisor sending their list of advisees an email is very painful for so many support units around the country. All right? So, that's kind of the GradesFirst story. This is our timeline here. And it's pretty accurate. We hit profitability last year, barely. We're going to be profitable this year. Next year, look out. All right? So it's fun. It's getting now to the point to where we can do some things without having to worry so much. Will it drive us all off in the ditch? Okay? All right? Which I don't know how I'm going to handle that. Because I happen to be somebody that loves the risk. Okay? I like it. Okay? I won't put my family at risk, and I won't put my employees' family at risk. But those early days, that's really, you know, some of what sustained me. But the main thing that sustained me was my faith that what I was doing would work. My faith, remember Jesus? He promised me over and over. That was what sustained me. All right? So whatever that faith may be for you, that's what you got to hold on to. Because you know what my friends said when I left my cushy job at Southern Company? You know what they said? What are you doing? Angela and I don't mind telling you, we went from an income of about $175,000 to $80,000 to 40 with 2 kids in daycare because she had to work. Now, how did we do that? We did not live above our means when we were making that money. Okay? Very important. You got to have a plan together. My plan is I'm going to get this home equity line of credit on my house before I quit my job. And we lived on that. We lived on credit cards. Yeah, I won't tell you that part. But the important... Yeah, if y'all hadn't noticed, I don't prepare for this stuff, okay? It's just kind of whatever comes. The only thing that I've ever prepared for, I lost. Okay? That was out of that launch pad. Lost. Okay? But, so, what I want to share with you today is primarily having faith in what you're doing. And in some ways, you have to just not listen to somebody tell you, hey, stupid, you got a great job right there. Why are you doing this? Because I tell you honestly, it cost me a lot of friends. It cost me a lot of friends. I'm down to, well, okay, let's rewind a little bit to about 6 or 8 months ago. Okay? Besides Anthony Crumley, who is my very close friend and my mentor, okay, somebody that I care greatly for, I basically had 2 buddies. I was down to 2, and I had more than I could handle to start with. And that was my friend Stephen and my friend John Burdett. Okay? Because they couldn't identify with what I was talking about. They couldn't identify with what I was doing. Now, John could, but Stephen couldn't, and he stuck with me. He didn't understand why I was falling asleep at the dinner table. He didn't understand why I was putting myself through all this stuff. I couldn't explain it. I couldn't explain it to my wife. And let me tell you something. If you're married and you're planning on doing something like this, you need to think about your wife. Okay? Because without her, I wouldn't have been able to do this kind of thing. Because she watched those kids while I worked 15, 16, 18-hour days. Okay? She hung in there. She took the crap from her parents. Does Mario hate us? Does he not want to come around? What is it? No, Mama, he's working. Alright? Now, I'm not giving you a sob story. I'm trying to paint you a picture that if you don't have sufficient funds to start out with, this is not easy. This is one of the most difficult things you will do. Okay? But a lot of people, and my clock up here is not working, so somebody needs to tell me how much time we got. But one of the most difficult things that lost my train of thought. Cool. I got 5 minutes to tell me. Free lunch from my angel if you can tell me these things at some point. Anyway. What was I talking about, Larry? Who knows? There you go, your support system. That's right. That's right. So it turns out, that's funny. So it turns out that my wife was not only my friend and my lover and my baby's mama's, she turned out to be a main recruiter for me, for talent. She's my investment banker because she found my angel. Okay? So you got to have her on board there. Cool? Alright, so I've gone over my time. Somebody asked me a question, and if it's a smart aleck question from this group over here, just want you to know I have some slides, Jeff Gale, that I can turn to. Seriously, somebody asked a question. I'm going to sing again. Yes?
So it seems like a lot of people talk today, they kind of leave out one thing that they said that you need to have for business. And I think one big piece of business is luck. To have the right luck. So you have the right luck at the right time. Maybe not the right time, you struggle for a long time, you know, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. But where do you see yourself if you not hit the luck?
Yeah, very good. He's talking about luck. I make no bones about it. We were extremely lucky. Over and over and over again. I told you about the phone call from the lady at Troy. You know, what I hadn't told you is the countless other times that I got phone calls when I was ready to give up. It's luck. It's luck that we had this product in athletics in a market that could not sustain what we wanted to do, and then this thing called retention came along, and we're in the perfect place at the right time. Okay? A lot of that's luck. You have to have some luck. But I'll also tell you that hard work and determination can create some luck too.
Do you think there's a value in creating a friend base of other entrepreneurs so you do have maybe other people who go through the process?
I do. But I'll tell you this. You're still not going to get to be able to spend a whole lot of time with them either. It's lonely. I ain't gonna lie. Jeez, it's lonely. I'll say one more thing to that. Jeff was talking about his management retreats. Okay, so the guys at Ticket Biscuit invite me along sometimes. Alright? Do not drink beer with me. Okay? But it is so much fun. Alright, that's my time. And I appreciate the opportunity. What do I do now? Okay.